Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I have such a bad list because I'm wearing my braces again. I found my Invisalign and I'm talking weird, so just ignore that. But this is such a bad list. This is the makeup look that I filmed today, and it's a tutorial using the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. I adore this palette, and a tutorial using this was highly requested. Obviously this is just one look that I created today. There's so many different looks that you can do with this palette that I would love to film. So if you'd like to see more looks with this palette, then just let me know in the comments down below. But this is today's look. I'll kind of go closer so you guys can see. And if you want to see how I created this look, then just keep on watching. So to start things off, I'm using my Too Faced Born This Way foundation, and I use the shade Warm Beige, and I'm using a Zoeva Duo Fiber foundation brush to apply this. Next I'm going in with concealer, and the one I'm using is the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer, and this is in the shade Macadamia, so it's only slightly lighter than my foundation, so it's not too much of an intense highlight, and I'm applying it in the areas that you can see and also on my eyelids to prep them for eyeshadow later. Then I'm using my beauty blender just to blend all of that in and to absorb any of the excess product on my face. To set the areas that I applied the concealer, I'm using my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Light, and I'm using just a duo fiber pointed brush. I think this is from Blank Canvas, and yeah, I like this because it has slight coverage and it keeps those areas light. To set the rest of my face, I'm using my Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Powder and just the largest brush I can find because it makes it so much quicker. Then for my eyebrows, I'm just brushing through them as always, and I'm using the Anastasia brush and the Anastasia Brow Powder Duo in the shade Soft Brown. I'm using the lighter shade at the beginning of my brows with the Inglot 13P brush, and then the darker shade with my angled brush through the middle and the ends of my brows. And I constantly brush through my eyebrows while I'm applying the product just because it gives a nicer finish. Then for any areas that are slightly more stubborn and kind of patchy, I go in with the Anastasia Brow Wiz in the shade Taupe, and like I said, just in certain areas, not through the whole brow. Then to set them, I'm using the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. Moving on to my favourite part, which is the bronzer, I use the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Dark Tan, and I don't really use this to contour, I use it to bronze, but by bronzing you're kind of adding definition to your face anyway, so it slightly acts as a contour too, and I'm just applying it in the areas that you can see. I always bring a little bit on my nose, I don't know why, I just like the look. For blush, I'm using my Urban Decay Gwen Steffani blush palette and using the pink and peach shade from that. And for my highlight, I'm using the Anastasia Ultimate Glow Kit, and I'm mixing the shades Golden Dawn and White Sand and just applying it in the areas that you can see. I also like to apply a little bit of highlight at the tip of my nose, but I always use my fingers for this because it just makes it a little bit more subtle. Moving on to eyes, like I said, we're using the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm using the shades Red Ochre and Raw Sienna on a really large fluffy brush and applying this into the crease and just blending it out. Take your time doing this step. And then I'm using Raw Sienna and Burnt Orange underneath the eye so it's not as dark as the top. You can use the same colours underneath if you prefer. I just like it when it's slightly lighter underneath my eye, and then obviously just doing the exact same on the opposite eye. On our lids, we're going in with the Red Ochre shade and using a smaller brush. By using a smaller brush, you're going to get more precision and also more colour payoff. So because we want this to be more intense, we want to use a smaller brush. So I'm only applying this on my lid and into my crease, not above my crease, because we want to keep the lighter colour above our crease. Next, we're taking the shade Primavera and using an even smaller brush. This one's similar to the Inglot 13P brush that I use for my eyebrows, and we're applying this to the inner third and the tear duct of our eyes. Then along the lash line, to create more definition, I'm taking the shade Cyprus Umber from the same palette. At first I used a flat brush to apply this, and then I just went in with a pencil brush. It's way quicker and way easier, so I suggest skipping the flat brush and just using a pencil brush. When I'm applying this, I use whatever's left on my brush just to define the outer corners of our eye. And then I'm going in with the MAC eye pencil in the shade Teddy and tightlining my eyes. You can use black or brown, whatever you prefer. And then moving on to mascara, I'm using the Giorgio Armani Eccentrico mascara. This is my favourite at the moment. And just apply it as you apply your mascara as usual. Lastly, for my lips, all I'm using is the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Lip Pencil in the shade Naked 2. Applying this all over my lips and then smudging it in with my finger. This is the finished makeup look. Off camera, I applied some false lashes. The ones I used were the individual lashes from Pennies or Primark, and I used mostly the longer length and then 2 shorter ones in the inner corner. After I applied my lashes, I then applied an extra coat of mascara just to make them more intense. And to set my face, I used the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. And I'm pretty sure that is it. I just kind of went over my eyeshadow in areas that I felt like needed a bit more intensity, so the highlight in the inner section of my eye and a little bit underneath. But other than that, this is the finished makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up because it really helps me out. I really cannot speak with these braces. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, then please do so. But that is it for today, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks!